much for being here, for taking the time. I'm super excited to chat with you about your experience, about what you do. And I usually like to start out the interviews just with kind of in your own words, a little description of what you do, who you are, just to get us started, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Jenna, for having me. So my name is Stacey Morales. I currently am a band manager for a local rock band called Foxglove. I just started with them, I think like in June, so earlier in the summer. And I'm proud to say that we've definitely grown their fan base a lot since then. So that's been a pretty proud accomplishment of mine. And then I also am a founder of 1520 Vision, which is a music industry mentorship program that specifically targets younger students who don't have a way into the music industry or don't have a way into the career that they want to pursue. So I wanted to create a safe space for them to learn from recent college grads or, young music industry professionals so that they can have an idea of what they want to do and then further pursue it with the help of their mentors. So, and that also was launched this past summer, and they absolutely, the number one compliment and feedback I've gotten from all the mentees, and it still rings my heart to this day, is that this program has changed their life for the better. And I could not be more humbled by the fact that they've said that, earnestly. So I am very excited to, get it started back up again in the next year, having people settled in from getting back to work and stuff. But those are the two main things, I guess, that are under my belt. And I do live event stuff on the side as freelance as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, when I was kind of, looking into what you do, and obviously we've had you on some Finesse events before, so I knew a little bit about your background, but I saw that you do a lot of different things in the music industry, which is really cool. You kind of dabble in a couple different areas, which I love. Okay, so why don't we jump into a little bit to what your journey has been thus far? Like, how did you get to where you are now with starting 1520 Vision and working with Foxglove? What has been kind of your career journey thus far? And are you doing the things that you thought you would be doing when you first started out, or has that changed a lot?
Oh my goodness, it's changed tremendously. I got started in K-pop, so I volunteered for K-pop concerts in Los Angeles, and it was just street team stuff. So I would be in charge of handling the promotions for street team and making sure everybody got their posters up and posting on social media. So it was very minimal work, but it was my first taste of what it's like to be part of a concert in a way. And then they would have me, if you worked on the street team, then you would work at the concert the day of. So that was my first oh my gosh, I'm working on site. This is really cool. And just me volunteering at the concerts, to be honest, I was happy doing that. I was like, I could do this for the rest of my life. I really don't care. And then when the pandemic hit, that's when I learned more about the bigger production of a tour and tour management. And I was like, oh, that's what I want to do, So from there, me learning as much as I can and meeting as many people as I can, through LinkedIn, I've been able to discover many different areas of the music industry, and that's why I created 1520 Vision, because I literally did not know about all the moving cogs in the music industry. I had a sense of it. I was like, yeah, it probably exists, but I had no idea of the music business side and the live events side, two completely different entities, but they work together to bring out what we know today, and so that's what led me to create 1520 Vision, because these other students, they at least know that they want to be a marketing assistant or a production assistant, but they don't know where to access that. So I was like, oh my gosh, I had to work and connect with so many people to understand this. I want them to have a little, here, you can start here, and then build out. There was that, and then really all the other opportunities that I've come across or have been blessed to be a part of was really me, again, like I said, building my network, a really strong network. And some people might get annoyed by hearing that, oh yeah, you need to connect, but it's the most true thing anyone can do for their career, because I was literally a nobody, nothing to my name, nothing, nobody knew who I was. And then all of a sudden, people know who I am. You know, like I don't like, it's weird to say, but like
we sure do. So
yeah. Thank you. And it's like, and like I can't believe I have friends in New York, I have friends in Nashville, I have friends in Florida who are professionals in this field, and I never thought I could achieve that without networking and connecting, you know. So that is really how I got from A to B, is connecting and showing my passions, being a good, nice person, you know, like just being like relatable and truly showing, you know, the genuineness of what I want to do. I really want to be in live entertainment. I want to be working for the fans. I want to be just, you know, in this space where we create these beautiful events that people come to. You know, it's something bigger than myself, and I truly want to be a part of it and help anybody else who wants to be a part of it as well.
Yeah, that's great. And you mentioned, you know, working for the fans. I want to talk to you a little bit about fan engagement, because I feel like, I don't know if it's just me because I started following Fan to Ban on Instagram amid in the pandemic, but like I've been seeing so much content online about the importance of fan engagement and the importance of fans, just how much they run the industry and how important they are to artists who want to be successful. So I wanted to ask you about that in your experience. You know, why is fan engagement so important to you, and why do you think it's so important to the industry? And do you think it's become even more important, like with like new social media platforms, and just how has that kind of changed and developed?
Mm-hmm. It is, you know, I think I got the grasp of fan engagement when I joined TikTok, and how vastly someone can grow once you have obtained your niche and you've obtained that audience that enjoys your niche, you know. And because I have 2 TikTok accounts that I tend to, and you know, and I tend to, they're not fans of me, they're fans of the content that I produce of this niche, you know. Once you build that niche with that audience on whatever social platform you have or whatever you're trying to put out your content with, like, you will grow indefinitely, is what I'm trying to say. And with Foxglove, for example, because that's the best thing I can like really relate this to right now. Foxglove, their fan base was only their friends and family because they were a small local band, you know, and that's normal. Or also like the other people that know of their shows locally, like, you know, 3 people that go to their shows. And they really wanted to, you know, build out a fan base. That's what they've told me. Like, we want more people to know about our music. And I was like, okay, we need people to know you exist. So let's build out content. Let's build out stuff about you. And with being a fan, that's what's important with fan engagement, is that you can't just hire someone to do fan engagement if they're not a fan of something. You know, it's you know, it's common sense. And me being a fan of multiple artists, as you see here, I have many posters and stuff around me. I'm a fan. And so I know what I want to see from artists. So I told them, okay, what are your personality traits? What's something fun about you? What do you know your trope to be? And so we sat down and talked about it, and we've established their tropes. You know, our lead singer is the e-boy, emo boy, you know, black hair, that's his thing. And then we have our bassist, who's like the pretty boy, the long hair, you know, really funny. And then we have our drummer, who's like the soft, caring boy that you're like, oh my God, that's the boyfriend of the group, you know. Like, we've established this. And so I'm like, okay, let's use these personalities and this content and let's develop it. And that's when it blew up. That's when they blew up on TikTok. And now we have fans in all corners of the US. And they're like, oh my God, come to Denver, come to Oklahoma, come over here. And I was like, okay, let's build more now. You know, and it's because I understood as a fan what was needed from them. I like your music. Now let me see more of you. Let me see more of what you can give me, so that I get more excited when I see you on stage, you know. And that's how I see fan engagement, is just taking the fan mentality and conforming it to what the music business side wants. You know, so that's why, you know, that's why Jamie from fan to band created this, because I mean she can give you a whole class on what fan engagement really is, you know. And I'm inspired by her. I'm so glad she made it an actual thing. But that's how I view how important fan engagement is, because it truly helps whatever you're putting out. It doesn't matter if it's an artist, a product, a song, like whatever is getting put out there, there's going to be a fan base for it. So you need to learn how to think like a fan and think, how can I present this so that this specific niche is targeted towards this audience? The stigma with fans and like hiring fans is that no, they're gonna freak out if they work for us and they're the artist. That's not the point. Like, yes, that would be the dream. That would definitely help you in the long run if you actually hire a direct fan. But you want the fan mentality. You want someone that is a dedicated fan of, like, I'm a dedicated fan of this band right here, GOT7, but they're not touring anymore. But I still have my fan mentality, and I know what I would want from future K-pop groups or future other bands that come out. You know, so it's truly, again, the fan mentality and conforming it to whatever's coming on in the music business world.
Yes, I love that. The fan mentality. That's so important. And you're right. It doesn't need to be your direct fan. It just needs to be someone who understands what it means to be a fan.
Yes, 100%.
And that's definitely, I feel like, become even more of a factor with social media, like you said, with TikTok. Like, I know for me personally, the artists that I'm a fan of, like, I watch their I'm constantly following their Instagram. Like, I get Instagram notifications when they post, or like when they go live on Instagram or on TikTok, or they post little snippets of their songs, or post YouTube videos talking about like the behind the scenes process of creating their songs. Like, I'm like a sucker for that kind of content.
Yes. And that's what fan culture has developed to be, especially now. Like, fans are what's driving everything right now. Like, fans have created their own accounts dedicated to the artist. They've created their own organizations. They've created their own merch. They've created everything. Like, if you have a steady fan base, you are going to grow exponentially. And so that's why you need someone with the current fan mentality, not what happened 50 years ago. Like, that's what's happening now, and adjusting to the culture, the fan culture that is right now. That's what's really necessary. Because fans aren't gonna, you cannot put like the freaking whatever album art you have out and just put it on a t-shirt and expect us to buy it. We don't want that anymore. We don't. We want specific niches from fans that we know is funny and is relatable. That's kind of like, if you know, you know type thing. So you need the current fan mentality.
Yes. No, I was at a Jeremy Zucker concert last night, and I was like, I have to get a shirt. Like, I want to get something like to remember the tour. And he had a t-shirt his album is called Crusher, his most recent album. And he had a t-shirt that said, on the front, it said Crusher. And on the back, it was like, I barely even know her. Like, I want that. I don't just want, you're right. I don't just want his album art on a t-shirt. That's so true.
There's a lot to it, and that's why people really need to study up on it. It's really good.
Absolutely. And you kind of started to touch on this, but my next question was going to be more specifically about social media and like creating social media content and marketing yourself as an artist on social media. Do you have any tips, advice, kind of do's and don'ts when it comes to artists, or even like music industry professionals, just people who want to build a presence online in the music industry, based on your experience thus far, maybe with Fox Club or even personally with building your own presence online?
Yeah, building a presence online is simply, one, you got to do it, and two, you got to do it till you find something that works. And that is, people are like, I want overnight virality, and I'm like, no, it can happen, but you need to keep doing it till you find something that works for you. And like I keep reiterating niche, because it's so true nowadays with platforms like TikTok. And the way TikTok algorithm works is literally chef's kiss. It's so true to the algorithm, like with what you post, and it blows my mind. I really want to get on an interview with the algorithm people at TikTok, because it's like, I don't understand how they do it. But you have to just be you have to be yourself. I know a lot of people, are so freaking out about putting themselves on the internet, but it's the genuineness and the you that people are going to want to come back for. Because if you keep creating like this persona that you don't like and you have to keep up with it, like you're going to get burnt out. But if you're just being yourself and you're just putting out content that you like, not what other people like, what you like, then it's like, yes, that's good. And I want to, what's the word? I want to clarify that when you're putting out content you like, you're going to find, again, that niche of what other people are like, oh my God, I like what that person is doing too. I'm going to follow them.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing something, again, that you don't like, you're not passionate about, you're not going to pursue, people are going to sense that 100%. It's all about genuineness on the internet and building that relatable personality, whether it's through any social media platform, not just TikTok, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. Like if you have relatable posts, if you are putting yourself in other people's shoes and showing like, hey, look, I also am doing this. Let me show you my solutions, or I'm participating in this. Do you want to do it too? It's actually fairly simple, to be honest, to get an audience that relates to you if you truly put yourself out there. And that will go with artists, with self personalities. Like a lot of artists are doing nowadays on TikTok is they're like in the car somewhere like just simple, and they're like, oh my gosh, have you ever had a boy who like literally left you in the middle of the restaurant? And
I see those all the time.
Yeah, right. And then they play their song because it's relatable. They're
like, then this song is for you, and then they play the song,
and I'm like, yeah, this song is for me. Oh my gosh, I love this. I have a couple of them saved because they're so good, and now I want to hear more from that person. So it's truly easy to find your audience once you put yourself out there and really show your genuine self and create content that that you yourself love. And then by that, you will find an audience who will also love and appreciate your own content.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so cool that you've been able to do that with Foxglove and kind of build an artist up from the ground up. Can you talk a little bit more about how you kind of first started working with Foxglove and like what you like about being an artist manager, maybe what some of the challenges are, but like the good things that keep you doing it? I know being a manager can be a lot. In my knowledge of the job, it can mean a lot of different things. So
yes, 100%. I definitely never thought I was going to be an artist manager. Never thought that was going to be a thing. But I got in touch with Foxglove because I'm friends with the drummer's brother. So I worked with his brother at one of my part-time jobs, and he got to know me and like, oh my gosh, you do music stuff. Well, come check out my brother's band. So he took me to one of their concerts, and I was like, they're pretty cool. I was like, that's pretty awesome. And so then the brother would hype me up to the band and he'd be like, you need to check out Stacey. This is what she does. And so we had an official meeting, me and the band. And I gave them this whole Canva presentation of like what I do and like how I can help them. And they were like smiling and like nodding their heads. And then I was like, all right, what do you guys think? And they're like, we were going to say yes the moment we walked in the door. So it wasn't really, And I was like, okay, awesome. That's great. So they are the sweetest 3 boys you will ever meet. They are super down to earth, super willing to just make it in the industry any way they can. And at first I was only their social media manager. I was only going to do content. And then I started connecting them with all these people and like introducing them and getting them gigs here and there. And they're like, how about you just be our manager and just handle everything? And I was like, okay, we'll do that. And it's been very fun. It's been I'm very, very blessed to have a band that is so willing to comply with what I say. I guess they're just so willing to just do new things. Like with all the TikToks I make them do, some of them are kind of embarrassing in terms of like there's a series I did where it was like going on a date with one of the members and they're like acting out to the camera, but it's cute. It got popular, so it worked.
Yeah.
You know, and they always, it's so cute when they get surprised when a video goes viral, you know, and they're like, oh my God, Stacey, we're at 10,000 views now. I'm like, yeah, I know.
You're like, yeah, I know.
And then they always check around. They're like, we know, you know, but this is just exciting. You know? And it's really fun to see their faces light up when, you know, the strategy works and they have someone leading them, you know, into success. And I'm very happy to start it off with them for sure. Will I take on other bands? I don't know yet. I think this is where I think I'll be happy with just Foxglove. I have thought about it, but I want to build them and build their success, and then maybe I'll feel like, you know, maybe I can take on more. Kind of like BTS. BTS was like their manager only had them, and then he stuck with it, and now look where BTS is now. So that's how I'll be with them.
That makes sense. And it, you know, it takes a lot of work to develop a relationship like that between a manager and artist, like where they do trust you. Like you make them do maybe silly things on TikTok, but they trust that you know what you're doing and that it's gonna go well for them. And that takes time to develop that relationship.
Yeah, I'm also very blessed that they warmed up to me super quickly. Like one of the band members said, like, Stacey, we've literally only known each other for 2 weeks, but I feel like I've known you my whole life. And I was like, good. That's where we want to be. That's really good.
Yeah, because that definitely artist-manager relationship is very important in order for a manager to help an artist to success.
Yes.
So I also definitely, we talked about 1520 Vision a little bit already, but I want to talk about it a little more just because I think it is really cool. And it's something that, I mean, obviously I'm still kind of coming up in the music industry, but it's definitely something I wish I'd known about in like high school, you know, like that it existed back when I was like not really sure what the music industry is, because even in the last couple of years, I've learned so much about roles that I had no idea existed in this industry. And I feel like that's the case for a lot of people, like coming out of college or coming out of high school, going into college, and even going into the early professional world, like not really knowing exactly what the music industry is, just knowing they want to be in it. So can you talk a little bit more just about 1520 Vision, what you guys are working on now? I saw you guys, I think, are recruiting mentors and mentees at the moment. So maybe about how people can get involved if they want to.
Yeah. So so I literally started 1520 at 3 a.m. one random night, and I was like, I need this, and this needs to be done. I literally made all the username accounts for everything, made sure I had, you know, my aesthetic username on every platform. And I was like, I need high school students to know that this exists. Like they need to have that space where they can learn comfortably and they can, you know, kickstart their career. And maybe, and I told them, even to find out if this is something they don't want to do. Maybe they thought it was going to be cool and then they did it and they're like, never mind. And we actually had 2 mentees who changed their mind in the middle of the program. And that was totally fine. I was like, that's literally what this is for. You know, to help you see exactly what you want to do. And I'm super blessed that all the mentors that signed up, they wanted to do it. They're like, yeah, let me give back to these students, because I wanted somebody at that age as well. And I'm happy that like they understood that you're gonna get like young students, like 16, 17, you know, and they're like, yeah, that's fine. I want to help them out. So I'm very happy that it all worked out in the end. And just all the webinars we put on, and those were super, super fun. They had great turnouts, and people just were so supportive of it. And I never thought people would be that supportive of it. You know, I don't know. I didn't know how it was going to turn out, but I didn't think it would be such a thing that people wanted to do, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's a thing that a lot of people didn't realize they needed or didn't realize they wanted. And then now that it is here, it's like, oh, that makes so much sense.
Yes. And even for my interns too, the first batch of interns, I will truly, they're etched in my heart for the rest of my life, because they truly helped me build the program from the ground up, and they took that with them, and it's helped them get great jobs. Actually, it's happened, you know, they come back to me like, thank you, Stacey, for letting me be a part of it, because now I have this job. And I'm like, wow, amazing. So good for you. And yeah, so we are gonna build up the next program and start hiring our interns first. And it's a volunteer position. So because I'm running it from my house, so I can't really give much, but you know, if you want to volunteer your time to help with 1520, we would much appreciate it. So we're going to build the interns first. We're having new positions that weren't existing before.
Gotcha.
Like we're going to have an events team so that they handle the webinars and stuff. And we're going to have a marketing team help out the events team and the social media team at the same time. So just like little other positions that I think would definitely help the program greatly. And then after that, then that's when we're going to start the recruitment for mentors. So just literally, if you want to join, just keep a lookout on the socials. We'll post everything when everything is announced. We're not going to hide anything. We're not, we're going to be very public about what's open and what's not. And with the program, I hope to start it probably March, April of next year. So it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be great, very exciting.
Yes, that's so exciting.
Yeah,
and I can definitely throw like all the socials and information like in the description for this video, so people can keep an eye out. So
perfect. Sounds good. Thank you.
So we're kind of coming to the end here. I think my final thing would just be, I always like to ask if you have any final advice, like if, a person watching this video is going to take, one thing away from it, or two things, one thing's kind of hard, but, a couple things away. What is kind of the final advice that you'd want to leave them with, really relating to anything that we've discussed in this conversation?
Yes, I would like to say that even myself, I've definitely have, how do I put this in a word? I've definitely been down myself when I feel like my career isn't progressing. And even though people, it seems that people congratulate me a lot, I still feel like I'm not progressing at all. And I feel I've almost given up countless times throughout this year. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore, and it's something everybody goes through. So I would like to let all the students know that if you also feel like giving up, just know all the other professionals that you've seen also have felt the same way. But in the midst of me giving up, literally probably today, I almost gave up and I was like, I don't want to do anything. I'm over it. I literally had this jolt of just inspiration. I was like, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to try harder now, so just keep going. I know it seems so grueling that you're constantly trying to get your name out there and trying to really reach for these careers and these jobs and just try to get some assistant coordinator job somewhere. You're trying. It's gonna either take a while or take tomorrow. It's just, you really need to put yourself out there and try until you get a yes. And it's a very, you don't want to hear that. I know you don't want to hear that, everybody, but it's going to happen for you sooner or later. I still haven't had that big yes. I've had little yeses here and there, and that's helped me and it's kept me going, but I'm still waiting for my big yes, and it's going to happen sooner or later. And also, when you do get that big yes and you get that title that you're so excited to put on your LinkedIn and on your resume, don't forget that with that title, there's something you're trying to change within that industry. It's not just about the title of tour manager or production lead. What are you going to do with that title that's going to encourage other future generations and help diversify the entertainment world? Like what's the ultimate vision that you have in your career? By having that vision and by having that dream or that aspiration, other people are going to relate to you and they're going to want to work with you. Like I dream to help bridge the gap between Korean and Hispanic countries so that we can bring K-pop to Mexico. That's like one of my dreams. And I've met people that have also shared the same dream. so then now we hope to work together in the future someday.
Yeah.
So don't give up, have a vision with your aspiration, and it'll all work out in the end.
Yeah, I love that. It's not just about getting where you want to go, but what are you going to do when you get there?
Yep. Exactly.
I love that. I think that is a perfect note to end us on. So thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation. I know a lot of people are going to get a lot from it. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jenna. It was very fun. I love anything Finessed Media does. Everybody needs to check out.
All right.